Hello, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Luis Daniel, and I'm based here in Berlin, working on Vamos, CEO and co-founder.
Okay, before we ask you about Vamos, where do you come from? You look pretty international.
Well, I'm born and raised in Sweden. My parents, from Chile. They moved over back in the days in the 70s, and speak Swedish, speak Spanish, and have lived in London previously for 2 years, and I'm here.
Okay, awesome. Sweden always makes great products, so I don't worry about Vamos. Tell us and also the viewers about Vamos. We tried to find out something already. It's quite hard to get an exact idea of what Vamos is doing unless you have a beta invite. So what is Vamos all about?
Yeah, it's kind of done that intentionally. Right now we are currently in beta, launching in August, mid-ish. And basically the core idea of Vamos is to try to solve the problem of finding out what to do today. So right now, here and now, in your city. And we are looking into the space of events. That's the area where we are focusing on right now. This problem was kind of, we experienced this, me and my co-founder David, once we were in Amsterdam for a trip. And we figured out that, okay, on a Thursday evening in Amsterdam, there must be lots of things to do. So that was our assumption. But we noticed it pretty quickly that wasn't really the case. So we started to look at, for example, services like, unlike Amsterdam, we looked at, for example, Lonely Planet. We even Googled it, what to do on Amsterdam on a Thursday night. Obviously, we get a lot of results back, really good ones. This bar is really good, really nice drinks. This venue is awesome, usually plays good music. So we went to one of those, and we figured out that awesome drinks, awesome location, but the problem was that the event there during that night was really bad. So really disappointment. We came home to the hotel and said, okay, this is not how it's supposed to be if we would have had the ultimate solution. And then we came up with the idea that, well, it would be easier or even better if we would be able to have access to public events and put them on a map. So that's how the kind of concept was born. And at that time, it was named the Event Compass. So find me the event with a compass, which was obviously not the perfect name. But I think that's the problem. What do we do on a Thursday evening or Monday night or Monday day after lunch or dinner with a couple of friends? You get me inspiration, you make it easy for me to make a decision. And that's basically what Vamos is all about.
Okay, solving problems always is a great thing, I think. To help us understand it in a more detailed way, it's mobile only?
Yes, for now.
Okay, so I have my smartphone and I see which events are around my place, where can I go, and this is done via Facebook Connect.
At the moment, yes. So if we look at this, why we have made the decision of going with Facebook Connect and using Facebook events currently is because this allows us to give an instant value to the user no matter where they are right now. So what happens is that if you're using Vamos today, even with our 100 beta testers, they can use it in Brazil, they can use it in the US, even in Singapore, and in entire Europe. So Facebook has allowed us to make this possible. And once we have a good user base, then what we can do, and the opportunity with Vamos, is to expand this. So we can tap into other existing event APIs and make it much richer, and use the existing kind of user base to make all of the events more social.
I ask myself two things. Let's say I come and visit you and your family either in Sweden or in Chile, and I do not know someone there. Is it still possible to find the event there, although my friends do not live there? So the Facebook Connect, does it only work with friends, that I see the events of friends, or also of foreigners?
Well, you will be able to see foreign events as well, as long as they are public. So how it works is that if you go to Chile and visit my family, which is not that many, unfortunately, they are still there. But if you go to Chile and you say, okay, I want to do something tonight, you will see lots of events on Vamos. And that's where our next kind of priority comes into play. So you are a foreign person, you are a traveler, you are in Chile. So what we do is that through our algorithms, we're making sure that the most relevant, or at least the most interesting events, are being displayed to you first. So you will be able to find events. And how it works is basically that the whole community of Vamos is helping each other to find more events.
Okay, and my second question in that respect is, if I think of my mother who just explores Facebook, and maybe she wants to invite all of her friends to do some, I don't know, what do they do? Stitching or so. Yeah. And she just wants to do it privately, or maybe a birthday bash or whatever you might call it. But she puts it publicly. Isn't there a risk that I come to a private birthday party if I use Vamos a lot?
Well, it can be, yeah. Initially, yes, and I think that's one of the things that we have to be very open with. Like, I think one of our fundamental, what we really care about is to care about privacy, right? And yes, you will be able to see those birthday batches, and your grandmother or mother might go to the wrong event and figure out that this was the rave party, not the stitching party, but. How we see this is that all of this information is currently public. And I believe that once we are highlighting that this is how the information can get used, then there will be a form of education for all of the people using Facebook events or using other like Meetup platform, etc. So initially, yes, there will be some confusion in this space, but over time, I think we will be able to make this work really well.
Okay, I mean, people also need to learn about Facebook. I mean, natural process, right? I like two things. First of all, as I said, solving problems is always great. And one of my problems, and this is why I like your stuff, is I tend to get all these invites on Facebook and I never look at them. So having them in one list is quite nice. But still, I think there's much more to come, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, this is just scratching the surface. And for us, like the point that you just mentioned, that you get a list of invites, you never look at them. For me, like, I'm from Sweden, I'm living in Berlin. I get 10 event requests every day-ish from Sweden. Totally irrelevant, right? I don't even care because it's spam for me. But if you look at this on Vamos, for example, the same day, I might have one that I got invited to, and this is obviously much more relevant to me. So this is the first thing that we're solving, and I think it's going to provide instant value. Everyone will like it, hopefully. But then what's coming on the roadmap next, it's going to become, like, if you see events, not just parties, like we are seeing everything from parties to let's say exhibitions to whatever events you can find out. But if you see it this way, then I see this similar to music. So music is a social product. If I like a song, I will share it to you. You will say, "Oh, thank you so much for this track." If you like me, then you might send me one back. I think the same thing would happen with events. It's a very social product. You invite your friends to an event, and that could either be a good one or a bad one. It might be that you don't have time, but you would at least be thankful. And the next time you see something that you might think would be fun to go with me or with some other of your friends, you will send them an invite. So I think this whole invite mechanism, it's something that we are currently working on. And I think it will be very powerful once we have it out there.
Cool. Let's speak about the design of your company a bit. Yeah. How many people work for you? Who are you basically, and who is backing you?
So we are the company. It's founded by 4 co-founders. It's myself, and we have David Prentil, which is now living in Oslo. Is moving to Stockholm to set up our second office there. We have Jens Dressler, which is our tech guru. Basically, he has done everything himself. And we have Eric Collinder, which is based in London and is moving over to Berlin on the 7th of August. So I'm going there to pick him and bring him over. He's basically doing all of the design work. He's a super talented guy, 19 years old, got recruited from high school when he was 17 to New York. And now he's really going to jump on the bandwagon with Vamos.
The eyes were glowing, right? Did you see it when he spoke about his team members? What about investors? Do you have someone already?
Well, at the moment, we're talking to some people, yes, we are pretty close to getting some potential news out there for you guys. But I think for now, I don't want to be overly excited. I want to make sure that we get the product out there and that people really like it. If we get funded, it will only be because we want to ramp up and to speed up this product development and make sure that the product gets right. So we won't look out for a big round of investment because we want to be sure the next 5 years. We're going to look for the smaller round. We're going to most likely bring in our friends because the whole product has been a social experiment. So all of our friends has been helping us out, everything from the coming up with the name to helping us out with the beta to helping us out with feedback, and now we're also looking into getting our friends to back us up for the company investment as well.
Okay, before we speak about your roadmap and your vision as the last part of this interview, I have to ask a question. I always have to ask, although I think it's a rather boring question. Do you already know how to make money with it?
Sure. I think this is some of the questions that we were trying to solve simultaneously. As at the same time as we saw the user needs, we also saw the potential usage for event creators. So myself, my first startup was when I was 17, and I was doing these events for people that were underaged, under 18, that couldn't get into nightclubs, couldn't drink alcohol. So I was quite fortunate at that time that, I could do these big events. The biggest one was for 4,000 people. And what we figured out together with my colleagues at that time was that, well, there are a lot of marketing strategies out there, right? So what we do was to put up posters, we send out emails, send out SMS, gave out flyers, went to schools and talked to all of the people. That was kind of the basic kind of marketing strategy. Now when Facebook is very popular, we would probably send out a lot of events on Facebook invites. But when you're standing in front of the door, 12 o'clock, and you see that, okay, not everyone that signed up for the guest list are coming, or all of our pre-ticket sales are not being sold, then you're standing there and rolling your thumbs and saying, okay, I beg to God that them please they will come, or you start to get desperate. And I can tell it myself, I've been desperate a couple of times because we were expecting to have a couple of thousand people, and it was not the case all of the nights. So what happens then is that you can either go out and send people to spread the word, give some free invites. You cannot go out and put more posters, that's too late. And if you would send out more SMS at 12 o'clock at night, you would probably have a lot of angry people because you are spamming them in the middle of the night. So here's where the potential for Vamos comes in. We know the people that are going out. We know the profile. You are this type of person, you like this is your interest, etc., etc. So we will be able to say, okay, this is a featured event. It might be interesting for you to join, and that would be how we would make money. So by giving impression and also by driving foot traffic to events.
I think even if this doesn't work, there are dozens of other ways to do it. Do me one last favor before I ask you about your roadmap, as I already said. We start our interviews always saying with, who are you, what do you do? If I ever have a Spanish or Chile guy again, how would I say this in Spanish?
¿Cómo te llamas y qué haces?
¿Cómo te llamas y qué haces? Last one?
¿Cómo te llamas y qué haces?
¿Qué haces? Okay, thank you. Anyway, I said, roadmap, vision. If we speak again in 12 months, what will Vamos look like? What is your personal view, your perspective?
Well, I'm dreaming still today. I think I'm really seeing this to be, if everything goes according to the dreams and plans, then we will have a pretty good user base, around 1 million in 12 months' time. If more, even better. And what we can do when we have that is that we will be able to introduce features that will add another kind of layer of relevance to our services. So one of the things that we are seeing today is that a lot of our users are asking for categories within Vamos. Obviously, categories can only be introduced once we have access to that data. Today, we don't have access to that data, and hopefully in 12 months we will.
Okay, that's pretty detailed, I would say. Cool. Then, one last word for you. Otherwise, I would say all the best and thank you for being here.
Yeah. All good, thank you. I'm very happy that you invited me over, and I think this whole journey is fantastic, and I'm really happy to be here. And from now on, I'm considering you guys my friends.
Dito. Vámonos, use vamos.